Hey everybody, how's it going? Video here, and today we're going to be talking about the NX and kind of what I personally want to see from it. This is going to be not really like a top 10 or anything, and this is mostly unscripted. I just have a couple notes that I'm going to go by. And these are just what I personally want from the NX and just Nintendo as a whole, as a company. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't know what I'm going to throw up as gameplay or footage or whatever, so I don't know. All right, the first thing I really want to see from this particular system is the fact that I want to see Nintendo do up-to-date hardware. And what I mean by that is as powerful, if not more powerful than, the PS4 and the Xbox One. Right now, Nintendo is kind of in a situation that really sucks for them, and that's the situation of they're kind of behind at all times. The Wii U is catching up to the 360 and the PS3, while the PS4 and Xbox One were coming out, and now they're going to be coming up with the NX, which is going to be playing catch up to the PS4 and Xbox One, while PS4 and Xbox One are going to be probably talking about PS5 and Xbox Two or whatever, and they're just kind of in a really crappy situation because most people who have have changed to the next gen have gotten it already. The people who are interested have gotten their next gen system. Uh, most people have gotten their PlayStation 4s or their Xbox Ones. In this situation, the PS4 has been selling insanely well. I think like 40 million units or something like that, which is crazy good. So I feel like Nintendo is going to have a lot of catching up to do, and I feel like no matter how good the system is, no matter how powerful it is, they're going to be behind. There's almost no way that they're probably going to catch up to Sony at this point. It is possible, I'm not ruling it out, but it's very unlikely because most people who want a next gen have already gotten it, and that's just how it is. So that kind of brings me to my next point. The one way that they can catch up is a better third-party support. And Nintendo has always had this problem, and people have always said they need to get it. So what do they need to do to get it? And I think the one big thing that they do need to do to get the third-party support is have up-to-date hardware. One problem with their systems is it's always behind, the other systems. It's always like I said, it's always kind of less hardware or whatever. So it takes companies more effort to port it over to a Nintendo system. Let's say like Rocksteady wanted to port Batman Arkham Knight to the Wii U. It'd have to be downgraded significantly. They'd probably have to cut stuff out. It probably wouldn't even run, but this is just kind of a theoretical situation. And then they'd have to work with the gamepad and everything, and they'd have to pay for all that. They'd have to pay for Nintendo's proprietary discs instead of the Blu-ray thing. We'll get to that soon. And it's a big mess. So one thing that would help them get third-party support is actually having up-to-date hardware, because then it'd be easier for companies to just port it over to the new system. And as I stated a little bit earlier, they need to stop with the whole proprietary disc stuff. They did it with the GameCube, and then with the Wii, they didn't even use like CD-ROMs or anything, so it couldn't even play DVDs. And then with the Wii U, they didn't do Blu-ray, and now it can't play Blu-rays. They need to go with Blu-rays. They need to update their hardware, and they need to do all this stuff to really make their system, go forward, or else they're gonna have some struggles. And one thing that would help them do that is just no gimmicks. This is my next point: is no gimmicks, because when you have gimmicks, like I said, it makes companies not want to do stuff for your hardware, because it just takes more effort to code it. Doing a motion control kind of Wii game would be frustrating at times, I'm sure, because it's like, oh, we have to like somehow shoehorn in motion controls, and now it's like, oh, well, now we have this big gamepad. Like, what do we do with this? What do we really want to buy? A development kit? Just, what I mean? It's just, what we want from Nintendo is no gimmicks. We just want a nice system, kind of like the GameCube. And I feel like a reason why Nintendo is scared to do a lot of these things, such as having like up-to-date hardware and no gimmicks, is because when they did do that with the GameCube, it didn't sell as well as the PS2. For example, that system was very powerful. It was on par with the PS2, if not even more powerful than the PS2, and probably slightly below the Xbox. And it didn't really have any gimmicks. It was just a nice system. So, maybe Nintendo's a little bit scared to do it because they don't know if it's going to work out. But I think they should take the chance with this because it's what the people really want. And it would help them out a lot. The next thing I want to specify here is the whole Nintendo casual like thing. I think one thing Nintendo really needs to do is mature a bit. And I'm not saying like, oh, they need to cater to the quote unquote bro market of gamers or anything, but I do think they need to mature some of their franchises a little bit, to really bring in new blood. Because one thing is, Nintendo used to dominate the casual market, and one reason why is because smartphones didn't exist, but now smartphones are a thing, and that kind of dominates the casual market now. Consoles are no longer looked at as like, oh, this is the casual system. This isn't. It's primarily made for gamers, and that's one big problem that Nintendo is having is they still have this mindset of like, oh, we got to get casual, even though smartphones kind of rule that category. And I know they're going to start developing smartphone games, but they need to stop catering their systems towards strictly casuals. And I hate using that word, but and target more of the mature audience, because if you get the mature audience, you get the young audience too. Um, there was a Nintendo Power article like way back in the day that Angry Video Game Nerd even pointed out back then, when the Nintendo 64 was coming out. Someone wrote in a letter like saying, "What are you doing? Why are you targeting kids? When if you target the adults, the kids will go with the adults because kids think whatever the adults think are cool, so they're just going to buy they're going to want what the adults want." And it's been like that since like '95, and they still haven't updated their thoughts. And they really need to do that, because imagine a Nintendo console with all these things, but on top of having like good third party support and being up like hardware wise really powerful, it would have the best exclusives. It would have all the third parties you want, and then on top of that, it would have its own great first party exclusives that would decimate the competition. It seems to me like it's a no brainer. Next, 2 points I want to make, and this is going to wrap it up, is more use of your franchises. Other than Mario and Zelda and, Smash and all that, let's get Metroid back. Let's get Excitebike and F-Zero and, franchises that haven't been seen in a while. And on top of that, let's make more IPs, more new ones, because Splatoon was great. It sold really well, and it showed that people want new stuff from Nintendo. So I can see this one actually being done. So that would definitely be something that would be nice for them to do. Is just more use of more use of their franchises other than just the ones that they've been using for the past like 10 years. And then finally, and this is a big one for me, a better interface and better online. This is huge because games have become more than just more than just video game systems. We want them to go online. We want them to play Netflix and Twitch and everything. And another thing that really helps with that is just having a good interface. And I can safely say that Nintendo's interface is the worst out of the three. Microsoft is easily on top of this, winning this by far. It's got a great interface. It has fantastic online, and it's really done this well. Sony, not as good, but still done well. And Nintendo needs to do it like them. No more Miiverse crap, no more friend codes and all this and that. Just simple usernames and the ability to join parties easier, the ability to message people, the ability to go on YouTube, Twitch, Netflix, all that, Hulu, all that good stuff. The ability to do all that on the fly and make it, snappy. We don't want to have this crap anymore, because honestly, a lot of Nintendo's online stuff is really bad. They need, like, where's in-game voice chat? It doesn't exist on any Nintendo games, and maybe some people are like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. Well, sometimes it's nice to have that stuff instead of just, the typical whatever Nintendo has. What they need to do is just update their online and their user interface, because Smash Brothers, Smash Brothers for Wii U is a lot of fun. It's a really good game, but God, does that online suck ass. I stopped playing it online because I could not handle the lag anymore. And you could argue that maybe it's on the developers, and I would honestly agree with that because Mario Kart 8 works fine online. But even Mario Kart 8 has its problems with, once again, no voice chat. It's hard to get in-game parties, and it's just hard to do basic stuff. And that's just honestly a really big thing. If Nintendo's all about fun, they need to get that in order. So, there you go. That's what I want from the NX. And if all of this is done, then oh my God, the Nintendo might actually get back on top. Like I said at the beginning, it's gonna be hard for them to beat the PS4, but they could catch up and they could really make a big dent and really change things around. They need to change things around, and maybe with the new president of Nintendo, things might change. Rest in peace Iwata. I loved him, and he did some great things for the company, but he also made a lot of mistakes, and a lot of those mistakes were trying to constantly capture this casual market, that, like I said, and just being really behind on the times. Um, and don't get me wrong, I love Nintendo. They're my favorite gaming company of all time. But just because they're my favorite of all time does not mean they're immune to criticism, like a lot of, as people would like to call them, Nintendrones would say. I think one big problem with it is Nintendo thinks they do right because all their fans are just okay with everything they do, even when they make mistakes. And we can't be doing that because we want them to get better. And the only way for them to get better is to criticize them every now and then. And if all five of these things, or whatever, how many other things I listed, are done and applied to the new system, they could really change things around. And that's what they need right now. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. And also, this is the first video of 2016, I believe, aside from my update video. Aside from my update video. So I hope you guys like it, and I hope you guys enjoy that. All the content I'm going to be trying to push onto this channel, because I'm just going to combine everything into one, as I said. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. So that's going to do it, and I'll see you guys next time.